Hi, welcome to Antidote to Anxiety, episode number 5. Oh my goodness, can you feel the energy these days? The energy of spring is here. And with it has been so many events, including a huge new moon. And very often, the energy of a moon can throw people off. So I'm curious in this moment, on a scale of 1 to 10, with 10 being very high, how's your anxiety? What would you rate it at? 1 is low, 10 is high. There, great job. Now, if you have a pencil and a piece of paper, write that down or put it in your phone under notes with today's date, just for you, please. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask you to become very aware of your anxiety. I know this is an antidote, yes, but when we recognize and relate to what is happening in our body, then it can be reduced or released. It works every time. So in this moment, what are you noticing? When I say, what does your anxiety look like? If you had to take a snapshot of that, a picture with your phone, what would you do? Would you look at broken glass and take a picture of that? Would you take a picture of a tornado in progress? What is it that is the image that describes your anxiety right now? Okay, now, what does it sound like? Does it sound like a tornado? Does it sound like glass breaking? Does it sound like and nails on a chalkboard? What does it sound like? And now, what does it feel like? What's the number of your anxiety right now? Because you've been giving attention to it. Has the number on the scale changed? Has it gone up? Has it gone down? You can't get this wrong because this is your experience. So now, with what we've just done, we're going to take 2 of the tools that we've used consistently and put them together, because I have a client that comes to my office once a week after a long day. And when this person arrives, they arrive in a high state of anxiety. But within 5 minutes of sitting down across from me, so there's somebody to witness and hold the space for what's happening, their anxiety goes down by half. Now, that may not happen to you because we're not in proximity with one another, but we all know the power of videos. They have made such a difference, especially since the pandemic. So on the count of 3, I'm going to invite you to exhale loudly with me. 1, 2, 3. Ah! Now breathe in through your nose, noticing the temperature of the air. And breathe out through your nose, noticing the temperature of the air. Do that 2 more times, please. And now what I'm going to invite you to do is I'm going to invite you to feel your feet if you have them. Not everyone is fortunate enough to have their feet. So what I'm going to invite you to do now is to put your feet on the floor. And if you're in bed, just bring your knees up so they point up to the ceiling, but put your feet flat on a surface, please. And then close your eyes or cast them down, because that then filters out what's going on around you. And what we're doing now is we're going inside to heighten your awareness of what's going on, to empower you so you realize that you have a great deal of power over what's happening in your life. It's really, this life of ours is an inside job. So take your feet down, or your awareness rather, down to your feet, and notice if there is one foot that feels bigger, wider, longer, higher, fatter. Just notice. 95% of people that I work with have the experience of having one foot bigger, longer, wider than the other. Again, you can't get this wrong. These are your feet. And if your feet are in balance, woohoo for you. So bring your awareness now to that foot that is the bigger, taller, wider, heavier. And come up on the toes of that foot, please. Because with anxiety, it feels so often like we're on our toes. Well, this time we're on our toes with intention. We're on our toes so that we can move our heel from the inside, from the outside in, and then move that heel out, and then move it back into the center. Good job. Now just notice, this kind of feels like a very, very, very slow windshield wiper. Moving back and forth, out and in. And now to deepen your awareness and your connection with your body, because we know that the mind can lie, but the body tells the truth. Just notice how far up you're feeling that movement. Is it in your foot? Is it happening in your ankle? Your calf? Are you feeling your knee moving side to side as you move your heel? Is it moving up your leg? Oh, can you feel that movement in your hip? Once again, you can't get this wrong. Just take a minute now and scan. How far up do you feel the movement? Good. Now put your foot down on the floor. And I would love to have you write in the chat below, what was your experience? What happened to that foot? And more curious, what happened to the other foot? So it was my right foot that felt heavier. And now that it's down on the floor, my left foot is saying, would you do something with me? So I'm going to invite you to come up on the toes of that left foot and do the very same thing. Go out and then come back in very slowly because you're on your toes. And just do that a couple more times. So this is something I discovered as a therapist and a Rubenfeld synergist. When people would come into my office, I would see them on their toes. Now I'm going to invite you to just put your feet on the floor and notice what's happened with your experience of this, with your feet on the floor. Did they come into balance? Very often they do. And it's an amazing thing because when we just give ourselves a little bit of attention, so we're recognizing which foot was heavier, we related to that foot by coming up on your toes and moving back and forth like a windshield wiper. And with very little movement then, 99% of the time your feet come into balance. And if yours didn't, no big deal. There's one more thing to do. It's really kind of fun. So I'm going to invite you to come up on the toes of both feet and then come down on your heels and bring your toes up. So basically what we're doing is we're rocking our feet, toes down, heels down, toes up. Toes down, heels up, heels down, toes up. Just rocking back and forth, up, forward, and back. And now pause. Now, in this moment, on a scale of 1 to 10, how's your anxiety? Where do you rate it? I would love to see a thumbs up or a thumbs down. And you can put that in the space beneath this video too. Because you see, when we come together and share what's happening with us, then we don't feel isolated. We know we're not alone in this experience we call life. And yeah, what little micro movements I make a difference. So now I'm curious, what does your anxiety look like? And I'm curious about the size. Did that pile of broken glass get smaller? Good. What does your anxiety sound like? Does it sound like a tornado up close or a tornado far away in the distance? What does it feel like? What's happened to that number on the scale? So once again, share with others, please, your experience, because what I'm here to tell you is you do have power over what's happening to you in your life now. Take deep care. I'm Georgena Grace. I hope you've enjoyed Antidote to Anxiety, episode number 5.